It doesn't happen too much anymore, but if you guys look up on the internet, this guy Charlie, and I hate to give his name because I don't want to give him any credit, get him more views than he deserves, which is 0. This guy Charlie Zelenoff, and you may have seen him sparring Floyd Mayweather Sr., and he jumps out of the ring, and this is his MO. He'll say, friendly sparring, 5 seconds. And before you can even put the gloves on, he'll jump on you and hit you as hard as he can. He's always got somebody standing there with a cameraman. And as soon as you're in shock, or you know, if he catches you with one of those wild punches, he'll turn around and raise his hands and start declaring himself the winner by knockout, and calls himself the king of underground street fighting, or underground boxing. Charlie, my door is open, buddy. The next time you're in Hawaii, you let me know. But he likes to brag about how he knocked out Deontay Wilder and all these other guys, UFC champions, kickboxers. But this was a guy kind of like him. And I remember back in the mid-90s to late 90s, and it took probably up to 2000 before this guy finally came in my door, and his name was the Maverick. And some of the black belts that trained with me, they were like, oh my God, you gotta see this guy. He's a kung fu expert. He punches concrete walls. Well, my first response is, why? Why does he do that? Oh, just to show you how strong his chi is. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So the guy punches concrete walls. Yeah, and he fights full contact and wants to prove his skill to everybody. Okay, bring him in. And a buddy of mine, Nate, brings this guy in, and he's polite, typical ponytail hippie, dope smoker, anarchist look-alike, and radical. And you guys got to remember now, I'm fresh out of the Army, extremely patriotic, and here comes this guy who wants to preach anarchy and revolution, and this is back in the 90s, way before the Pantifa movement. So I asked him, so what can I do for you? What are you here for? And he goes, oh, I was told you'll spar, and I'll spar anybody, but nobody will spar me. Well, ding, green light. I told him, well, absolutely, I'll spar with you. And we put the gloves on, and he went through his Kung Fu David Carradine ritual. And I didn't know they really did that. It doesn't work too well in real street fights. If you're doing the dragon style and you get in a fight with another dragon, I heard it's excellent. But he comes out and literally sits in a horse stance. A horse stance. Raising his left hand up in front of him and exhaling real hard, real labored breathing. So I said, let me know when you're ready. And I'm just standing there with my hands at my hips. And he looked at me confused. He goes, I am ready. Like this? Yeah. Okay. So I threw a front leg side kick, knocked him back into the wall. At this time, he tried to raise his hands to defend himself a little bit. And I threw a back kick, and that was it. Didn't even get to throw a punch. Threw a side kick and a back kick, and he decided game was over. Didn't want any part of it. Well, my buddy, who was telling me how crazy and how tough this guy was sitting there with his jaw hitting the ground. You know, he's just like aghast. I asked him, any questions? He just smiled and said, nope, no questions. We understand what the best fighting system is? Yes. Hey, this is Bob Smith. Blood makes you related and loyalty makes you family. Out.